As listeners, we want you to understand that the solution of business, tax, and legal issues depends on many factors, including local, state, and federal laws. Listeners' names and questions may be simulated. The show is not intended to offer business, tax, or legal advice, and Spiegel and Utrera, PA, its attorneys, and Lawrence J. Spiegel recommend you seek legal advice from an attorney about your specific matter. AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. There are only two types of people, those in business and those who wish they were. Join Larry Spiegel, entrepreneur, author, and managing shareholder of Spiegel and Utrera, PA, with host Joe Castello, as they tackle issues and challenges associated with starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business in today's highly competitive marketplace. It's time to start or expand your business today. And now, here's Larry Spiegel and Joe Castello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. I'm Joe Castello, and once again, we're joined in studio by entrepreneur, author, and managing shareholder at Spiegel and Utrera, PA, Larry Spiegel. Larry, welcome back.
Joe, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be back. I'm looking forward to helping entrepreneurs with all their questions, and can't wait to get started.
We're getting a lot of feedback out there, Larry, so we do have questions for you today. And folks, I know there are a lot of people out there who aspire to start their own business, get something going on the side, maybe in addition to your day job, something small to get you going. What it takes, an idea, it takes hard work, and it takes commitment. On each show, we talk about this, and this show is no different. There's a lot of opportunity out there for people to seize upon, Larry.
There certainly is, and as you say, it takes a great deal of commitment and hard work. But anybody can put their idea into action and create their own opportunity.
Sometimes, though, there's a hurdle, some sort of challenge that arises that you don't know what to do about. Well, if you've got a question, something like that, about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business, give us a call, 800-520-7600. It works just like a voicemail, so anytime, day or night, you can give us a call, 800-520-7600. Leave your name and your question, and we may use it right here on the show. You can also email us at radioshow@AmeriLawyer.com, where you can hear all of our shows. And if you want to listen in rapid fire, or if you don't hear your question on today's show, perhaps we used it in the past, or you can check out some of the other shows on AmeriLawyer.com. Larry, are you ready to roll?
I'm ready, Joe. Let's hit it. I'm all fired up.
Here we go. First question of the week. This one coming from Deandra.
Yes, my name's Deandra, and I wanted to request some information or to ask a few questions about how to buy an existing profitable business using the assets of the business or leverage buyout.
Leverage buyout, Larry.
Well, Deandra, that's a great question. And as you properly stated, a leverage buyout is where you use the assets of the business that you're acquiring as collateral to borrow money to purchase the business. So the seller is happy, they move along, they get their money, and you're left with the business, the assets, and the loan that needs to be repaid. Now the idea is that loan gets repaid out of the profits of the business. So that's the one consideration that you must be extremely careful with when entering into one of these transactions. You must verify and confirm the cash flow. Once you've done that, and you're comfortable with the fact that the cash flow will pay the indebtedness that the business has taken on, and by the way, generally the business takes on the indebtedness. However, you may be required to give a personal guarantee in such a transaction. So you want to be very careful when you go about the business of confirming the cash flow so that you do look forward to adequate cash flow to repay the indebtedness which has been taken on. Of course, looking down the road with the business, you do have expectations for the business, and through those expectations, you'll increase the profits and cash flow. And that's where you will begin to make some real money with this business that you've acquired, utilizing the business's assets to borrow the funds necessary to acquire the business.
When you go to the bank with that, as long as you're armed with some hard data as to, look, this is the business I want to buy, this is what it makes, you feel like that could be smooth sailing?
Well, we're not necessarily calling these bankable deals. It's possible. One of the ways that is possible is something that might be a locally orientated type business, where the banker could possibly already be the banker for the business. That type of situation is a possibility. But usually in these types of situations, you're looking for what's known as an asset-based lender. An asset-based lender is somebody that's very comfortable lending money on the assets of an operating business.
Great question, Deandra, and of course, best of luck. Next question here at the start of the show. This one coming from Roger. My name is Roger, and I am an entrepreneur. My business is in the promotional field. We host events for clients, etc., and a lot of the work that needs to be done is busy work. I am wondering how I would go about getting some interns to assist with non-essential work, asks Roger.
Well, Roger, the key word that you've used a couple of times in your question is work. Interns do not do work, so you can just cross that off your list. There's a lot of confusion about interns, but consider this, that the intern is there for an educational experience, and that's not found at the copy machine, the shredding machine, answering the telephone, making coffee, and other niceties that might occur in an office that one would consider to be busy work. So cross it off your list. The internship is not the way to go.
Really? No internship. So all those, let's see, I think about all my radio station stuff, Larry. I was exactly at the copy machine. I was definitely at the shredder. I was at all these places. Where'd the education happen?
It didn't. You have a claim against them through the Department of Labor, Wage and Hour.
Oh, my goodness. Mm-hmm. You know any good lawyers?
Well, they're out there. It wouldn't take much to find one of those kinds of lawyers. There's many lawyers specializing in that area today.
Oh, I'm quite sure, and I'm sure there are people out there whose the air just went out of the balloon. They're like, oh, I can't get an intern, but that's the way it is. Folks, if you've got a question, 800-520-7600, or email us, radioshow@amerilawyer.com. That's radioshow@amerilawyer.com, where you can hear many more episodes of Start or Expand Your Business Today. And we'll be back after this, right here on Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Start or expand your business today.
There are some mistakes in business that may cause the occasional headache. Then there are some mistakes in business that may keep you up all night for weeks and months at a time. Avoid those mistakes by seeking strategic business and legal advice from a team of attorneys ready to help you. Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club can assist you with the tough legal and business questions at crucial times. Call toll-free 800-734-9900 to receive your annual membership and be entitled to get unlimited strategic business and legal advice for a year. The General Counsel Club can assist with how to buy or sell business, converting hobby expenses into legitimate business expenses. What are legitimate business expenses for tax purposes? Tips on leasing a business location, whether for retail, office, warehouse, or industrial. Leasing versus buying options for vehicles and equipment. IRS examinations, audits, liens, levies, deficiencies, and settlements of tax disputes. Knowledge is power, and knowing that Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club is one phone call away may give you the confidence to succeed during the day and rest well at night. Call 800-734-9900 or log on to amerilawyer.com today.
Got a question about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business? Email radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Listeners' questions may air on episodes of amerilawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. That's radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Now back to Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Welcome back to Start or Expand Your Business Today. Joe Castello along with Larry Spiegel. Larry, questions coming in. I love when we get grooving on the show and get to hear from some of these people out there.
It's great when we hear from the people and they call us over the phone.
800-520-7600. If you've got a question, just give us a call. It works just like a voicemail. And sometimes on our call-in line, we get a little useful information from some of our listeners out there.
Zoning does not allow for, the zoning ordinance does not allow for mobile detailing, mobile car washes, mobile vending in commercial districts, i.e. gas stations, retail establishments, and the like. So therefore, you will not be able to set up and put a sign out because you have to meet the local sign ordinance also for posting a sign. All signs are required to have a permit. If you do, there's a potential of a $1,000 fine plus court costs for setting up a mobile detailing at a commercial district without the proper drainage or CO. Please inform the listeners of that. Thank you.
There's a perfect example, Larry, of something you might want to avoid.
Yes, the caller certainly has the information about this and no doubt is familiar with it in his jurisdiction. And basically, you could see there that the government is using the zoning law to regulate business. It may not be that obvious to us, but if we go back to our basic principles and we think about ease of entry to start a particular type of business, you could see where the mobile car wash, or for that matter, even the stationary car wash set up at a gas station or the like, would be something that would be very easy to start and do. And as a matter of fact, if we drive down the street on any weekend, we'll see a lot of volunteer organizations doing that. And the government is attempting, as I say, to regulate that by requiring that certain things be met in order to operate the mobile car wash in a commercial district. Now, the caller said that they were not permitted at all, but I submit that if they met the requirements, they would be permitted, but the requirements are probably so onerous that we wouldn't bother to meet them in order to have a mobile car wash in a commercial district. The other thing, to take this one step further, is that if we were permitted to do it, we would still have to overcome the hurdle of having the appropriate license to operate the business. You might say, well, in my jurisdiction, how will I know about this? Well, you will know about it by visiting the zoning department in the jurisdiction where you reside, whether that happens to be at a city level or a county level, and they're experienced at giving you the information relative to the type of business that you're wanting to enter into and what the requirements are that may be met, or as in this case, they can't even be operated in certain areas.
Thanks for your call, sir. Certainly appreciate it. If you've got a question, 800-520-7600. Next question. This one coming via email. Hello, I have a warehouse space that I rent out. All things being equal, is there a benefit to renting my warehouse to a non-for-profit organization rather than a for-profit business? I have to choose between several possible clients. Thank you.
Well, this is it's kind of a mixed question. It has a lot of issues. First of all, I would think that the overriding consideration would be the tenant mix at the warehouse space. In other words, I wouldn't want to duplicate the types of tenants I have. I may be striving for a certain type of tenant. To me, that would be the most important thing. Now, it may very well be that that would be a nonprofit organization doing that activity. But there wouldn't be any special tax advantage necessarily to leasing out to a nonprofit organization. Now, having said that, there still may be some local laws that may benefit you, because there could be a situation where if you enter into a longer-term lease with a nonprofit organization, you may be able to get a real estate tax, property tax exemption for the period of the lease. So that is a possibility. That's something for you to consider. As far as the rent that you receive, it's just as taxable whether it comes from a profit or a nonprofit organization. I could see some publicity advantages if you wanted to do business with a nonprofit that may help your warehouse space attract other tenants, or just the publicity that you would receive from that.
Great question. Thank you very much. And the things that are open to consideration, I would have never considered the idea of possible promotional benefit from it, but I guess it's out there.
Yes, by all means, there's a possibility. Plus, as I alluded to in the beginning about the tenant mix, the nonprofit organization, if you decided on doing it, may draw other tenants who want to work with that nonprofit organization by being very close in proximity to them.
Great question. Appreciate it. Next one. This one coming from Jessica. She writes, Hello, my name is Jessica, and my business is the creation of promotional items for schools and clubs. We do silk screening on shirts and mugs, vinyl lettering, etc. When I got started, I was happy to have a way to make money, but now I'd like to do something else. I'm feeling trapped in this business. It pays the bills, but I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. How can I transition out of this into something else? Should I just try to sell, and how do I go about doing that? Writes Jessica.
Well, Jessica, I think when you say transition, we're not going to take the business that you're in now and morph it into some other different kind of business. You've already indicated that it is a successful business. So I think the focus should be on preparing the business to sell the business by increasing its profits, reducing its expenses, and begin to look around for some agent, like a business broker, who may sell your business for you. Now, I'm not suggesting that you utilize a business broker. You may want to try to sell the business on your own. However, I think it's a very good idea to interview business brokers because they can assist you and give you ideas relating to the preparation of the sale of your business and some of the things about the sale that might be unique to your area that will make the transition and the sale smoother for you. Once you do sell the business, which I think you will be able to sell your business, you'll take some time and relax, pat yourself on the back because you certainly deserve that, and then you'll prepare yourself for your next endeavor, whether you are going to start another business from scratch or you're going to acquire a business.
Good luck, Jessica. 800-520-7600. Now, that's a success story that I think a lot of people out there listening would love to have. Started a business, doing well, now wants to do something else, and maybe we'll have the means to do it.
Right. Now, one of the things that Jessica said, though, that she said she felt trapped in her business. So, in other words, this business is successful, but it's become old hat to her, and she'd like to move on. So there's another side of the coin, and it's difficult because for most entrepreneurs, when we start a business, we want the business to succeed, and many times we are not that concerned about whether or not we will enjoy that business after it gets going, or many of the activities involved with the business become very routine and mundane, and you're not challenged anymore. I suspect that's where Jessica is, and that's why she needs to move on.
Well, Jessica, we wish you the best of luck. And, folks, if you've got a question, 800-520-7600, or shoot us an email, radioshow@amerilawyer.com. If you decide to call, it works just like a voicemail. So anytime, day or night, when that question strikes, we get it from a lot of people out there. Just give us a call, leave your name and your question. Of course, details about what kind of business you're in. The more specifics, the better. Larry can tackle it and come up with an answer. When we come back, we'll get to some more of your questions and, of course, Larry's final thought right here on Start or Expand Your Business Today.
AmeriLawyer.com.
Start or expand your business today. Form your corporation for as little as $104.95. Each corporation is complete and includes state filing fees, corporation records book, corporate seal, articles of incorporation, corporate bylaws, corporate minutes, stock certificates, preliminary name search, and attorney's fees. Spiegel and Joe PA and AmeriLawyer.com can also help you with assumed or fictitious business names, advising on legitimate business expenses for tax purposes, discussing the converting of personal expenses into deductible business expenses, assisting you in developing a service agreement for your business, answering your questions on the advantages of minority-owned business certification, explaining the differences between a corporation and a limited liability company, and the benefits of creating either a regular corporation, S corporation, or a limited liability company. Knowledge is power. Order over the phone at 800-603-3900. That's 800-603-3900, or online at AmeriLawyer.com.
Got a question about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business? Call 800-520-7600. Just leave your name and your question. Listeners' questions may air on episodes of AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. That's 800-520-7600. Now back to Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Final segment here on Start or Expand Your Business today. Joe Castello along with Larry Spiegel. If you've got a question, 800-520-7600. Larry, the entrepreneurs out there, they're attacking the challenges, but the challenges keep coming. Seems like there's always something. That's why we have questions.
Well, as long as the opportunities exist out there, there always will be questions.
Which is part of the reason that we do this show, radio show at AmeriLawyer.com, where you can find more episodes of the show, or give us a call, 800-520-7600. Back into it. Next question. Hi, guys. Love the show. I hear you talk about liability all the time. I don't currently have insurance for my landscaping business. I do most of the work myself and try to do error-free work. Right now, I'm not making enough to pay for anything other than my health insurance. I just take it day by day. Is there an affordable option for me to cover myself?
Well, I think, first of all, we must incorporate or form a limited liability company and operate through that entity. Additionally, with each of your customers, you'd enter into a service agreement. And this written agreement would spell out many things. It's an attempt to limit the liability of the LLC or the corporation. If you take those steps, I think that that's a minimal requirement at this point. Of course, it would be easy to say get liability insurance. You've already told us you can't afford that. But you must go ahead and form either a corporation or a limited liability company and utilize what I call a service agreement with your customers, which will spell out and limit your liability.
If you're going to do something, you've got to do it right, and we cover it here on the show very often. What good is it, Larry, if you build a business, get a great customer base, and now you're doing well, and something happens, and you shoot yourself in the foot, and it's all for naught?
And not only that, the landscaping business is a very attractive business because it's repeatable in nature. As a matter of fact, in the last downturn of the economy, some of the people that had the best experiences with their businesses and continued without missing a beat were people in the landscaping business. They had their book of business, they had their clients, and guess what? The grass kept growing, and so did their businesses. So I think it's a great business, so take those initial fundamental steps that need to be done, and you're building value with your business every day. Your business has value because it could be sold at any time based on a book of business that you have.
And the urgency to purchase. The grass, it's knee-high. What are we going to do? We got to get somebody out here.
Right.
Urgency. That's one of the principles that I have learned about here on the show. Next question. Larry, the real estate market seems to be turning around a little bit. I'd like to purchase a rental property while the prices are still low. I currently have a mortgage on my own home with enough equity to probably get a second mortgage to buy a distressed property. Would you recommend doing it that way? I want to use this opportunity, but I don't want to lose my house either.
Well, no, I wouldn't recommend getting a second mortgage on your own house to buy a distressed property. Now, the reason I say that is because I believe there are still numerous opportunities out there that are seller financed. Why would we put our own home at risk to purchase a residential or, for that matter, commercial real estate property without exploring completely the seller financing aspect? Now, it's very true that deal A that you may be working on hasn't got seller financing. Hey, move on to deal B or C or D. I submit to you that you will get out of it exactly what you put into it. And the more you work on it, the more likely you will be to succeed, and the less likely you will be to put any of your assets at risk in the transaction.
Take me through seller financing for folks out there, because I think everyone's like, now is the time to do something like that. We've heard just the other day property values are starting to go up. Hopefully that is the case. The seller agrees to finance me. I take ownership of the property. I need to find a renter or someone who's going to fund me. Then I fund the seller who is financing to me. Is that accurate in a very simplistic manner?
Well, let's go back to one of the original questions in the show, the leverage buyout. It's the same thing. We're going to take the asset of that acquisition, the real property. We're going to convert that into cash flow by renting it out, and that renting out cash flow pays the mortgage that we gave the seller.
Absolutely incredible. Opportunity is everywhere. And that's going to do it for our questions today. Remember, if you've got a question, something burning you up inside, you want to run it by Larry, it's 800-520-7600, anytime, day or night, or radio show at AmeriLawyer.com. And that's going to do it for the questions. And now it's time for my favorite part of the show, Larry's final thought.
Well, Joe, during the show today, I was thinking about expanding your dreams, and I was reminded of the fact that the biggest things are always the easiest to do because there is no competition. And I say to the listeners, no matter what level their ability is, they have more potential than they could ever develop in a lifetime.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Start or Expand Your Business today. Larry, excellent work as usual.
Well, thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
And folks, if you've got a question, this is the place. Start or expand your business today. 800-520-7600 or email us radioshow@AmeriLawyer.com. That's radioshow@AmeriLawyer.com. Larry, take us home.
As always, Joe, I think everybody needs to plan their work and work their plan.
He's Larry Spiegel. I'm Joe Castello, and we'll see you next time right here on AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today.
AmeriLawyer.com, where understanding your business is our business.
There are some mistakes in business that may cause the occasional headache. Then there are some mistakes in business that may keep you up all night for weeks and months at a time. Avoid those mistakes by seeking strategic business and legal advice from a team of attorneys ready to help you. Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club can assist you with the tough legal and business questions at crucial times. Call toll-free 800-734-9900 to receive your annual membership and be entitled to get unlimited strategic business and legal advice for a year. The General Counsel Club can assist with selecting a legal and tax structure for your business, building business credit, when a trust should own your corporation or limited liability company. What are the benefits of forming a corporation or limited liability company? What are the differences between a corporation and limited liability company? Using employees versus independent contractors. Knowledge is power, and knowing that Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club is one phone call away may give you the confidence to succeed during the day and rest well at night. Call 800-734-9900 or log on to AmeriLawyer.com today.
AmeriLawyer.com, where understanding your business is our business. For more episodes of Start or Expand Your Business Today, log on to AmeriLawyer.com/radio show. That's AmeriLawyer.com/radio show. Get your business going with Start or Expand Your Business Today.